Hello my friends, I have an awesome workout for you today that's fantastic if you have prolapse, but also even if you don't have prolapse, you're gonna love this workout for your hips, your booty. It's an awesome routine. You will need a yoga block or some type of really very firm pillow, nothing too squishy to do the workout. But again, our hips are going to be elevated for most of the routine, and it's perfect to help bring everything back into position if you do have prolapse, and to strengthen when you're in that position where all of your pelvic organs are now pulled back into place using gravity. So let me show you what I mean. Go ahead and grab your yoga block. This is a cork block. This is a foam block. Pick your choice, whatever you have works, or again, your pillow. And we're actually going to take it over to a wall. So you will need a wall handy to put your feet up on for this very first move. All right, I'm going to go ahead and grab my foam block. And again, a pillow would work as well. Carefully come onto your side, and you are going to bring your feet up against the wall. Feet are flat on the wall. And place the block, small firm pillow or even like a Pilates ball, between your knees. Now in this position, we're going to work on longer holds. So what I want you to do is to gently squeeze that block between your knees. Feel as you do that, those inner thighs start to kind of light up. Feel your pelvic floor light up just a little bit as well. So everything in the inside is lit up. Gently squeezing. It's not super strong, just gentle. Lit up through the core. Now I want you to really activate that pelvic floor, and roll your spine up. Now squeeze that block, reposition your feet if you need to so everything's in line. The knees are directly over your feet, your bum is lifted, you're doing almost like a pelvic tilt or a pelvic scoop as you hold it and squeeze that block for 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and now release down. Oof, I feel that right through that whole center line. So go ahead and remove the pillow or the block just for a moment, and then let's do it again. So squeezing very gently against the block, feel the center line wake up, feel the inner thighs, the pelvic floor wake up. Now really lift that pelvic floor a little bit more as you roll up. Rolling up, and hold it. Hold it and breathe. Never hold your breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, roll down carefully. We're just going to do this one more time before moving on to the rest of our exercises. So remove the block, flop those knees apart. And again, when you're in that elevated position, your hips are high, your pelvic organs are coming back into their rightful positions by way of gravity. Let's feel that again as we do the move. So block goes between your knees, gently squeeze together, light up those inner thighs, light up the pelvic floor, lift the pelvic floor as you lift your bum up off the ground, make it your highest lift yet, and feel how in this position where your hips are high, your pelvic organs are coming back into their rightful position if you do have prolapse. Holding it, lit up through that center line, lit up and strong, firing, squeezing those glutes, hamstrings are working, and release it down. Oh, feels so good. Man, I feel like we're practically done, but we have only just begun. So carefully roll to your side. You won't need the wall anymore, but you will need the block. I'm going to use my cork block actually for the next move. So you're going to use a block. You don't need to have different types of yoga blocks. It's just because I have them. So don't worry if you only have one type. So carefully bring the block under your pelvis. You're going to want to lift up, roll up into a bridge position, and then bring the block right under your sacrum, the back of your pelvis. And just rest here. So in this position, I want you to lift into a bridge. Your feet are right under your knees, and you're going to squeeze your bum and lift up off the block. So I want you to hover down just above the block and then lift again. Hover just above the block and then lift again. If you need to touch down onto the block every time, that's okay. But I want you to try to just hover right above and then lift. Make sure there's space between your chin and your neck. You don't want to be all crunched up like this. We don't want that. We want to really be feeling these pulses of work in our glutes and hamstrings. So as you're doing this, try to make sure that your feet don't unintentionally slide forward. You want to keep them almost like they're pulling back as you lift your bum up. This is a really total body workout, but it's really for the back side of your entire body, your glutes, your hamstrings, the entire backs of your legs. Let's just do 2 more. Lifting and breathing. 1 more, lifting and breathing. Okay, now we really felt that in the back. Now let's get into the side hips. You are going to roll off of your block carefully. So maybe just kind of move the block away and roll onto your side. The block, your bottom leg is bent, 90 degrees at the hip, 90 degrees at the knee. I want you to move the block, and you can prop your head up just so you can see what's happening. Maybe even use your leg a little bit to figure this out. You're going to put your block, so basically it's right in line with your body this way. And it's also pretty much right in line with your front foot. Knee, the top knee can sit on it. Now you might play with position depending on the size of your body and your shape and the width of your hips. You might want to have the block on this second position. But what you're going to do is this bottom leg is bent, top leg, the knee is resting on the block, okay? Are we set up? I hope so. You are going to love this move. You're going to feel it deep. Strong core, laying on your arm. You're going to lift that leg up. So the knee is supported on the block, and if you have to adjust things, go for it. But I want you to feel how you're super engaged through your core, and you're also really feeling that in your hip joint. You should feel almost like a lifting of everything as you do this move. So hold it for 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. And now release down. Maybe even that foot rests on the floor. Let's do it again. So lift, 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 lift. It's a hip internal rotation. We don't often do this move. This is a very underutilized move, where these hip muscles that we're working are also underworked muscles, but they're really important for strengthening your pelvic floor, helping to activate your pelvic floor. Also important for balance, hip stability, and also hip shaping. So this is a great sculpting move too. And release down. Oh my gosh, it's deep, isn't it? Let's do it 3 more times, so 5 times total. Go ahead and lift that foot up off the ground. Lift, 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 holding it, feeling it deep in the hip joint as you bring the foot up toward the ceiling. Knee is supported on the block. Breathing steadily and down. This is such deep work. Do it again. Lift, 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 lift. Breathing steadily. Never hold your breath. Make sure your body is in line. Your core is strong, and you're lifting that foot up toward the ceiling, and then bring it down. Okay, last time here. After this rest, we lift, 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 lift. Feel everything pulling back into position. If you do have pelvic organ prolapse, you're feeling a lift. You're feeling these rotators helping to activate your pelvic floor. Your inner thigh muscles are turning on. Everything is activating that center line of the body. Hold it and down. Wow, right? Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're gonna go back up onto our block. There's a lot of finagling here. So turn the block so it's on its lowest height, and now carefully use your bottom muscles and come up into a bridge and rest on the block again. All right, in this position, let's just do a couple of Kegel exercises. Our hips are elevated, pelvic organs are being pulled back into place, and it's a nice position to just feel the pelvic floor. So feel your pelvic floor muscles that surround your urethra and your vagina and your anus. Feel them squeezing and then gently drawing in and up toward your head. So this way. So release fully and try it again. Squeeze and lift the pelvic floor muscles toward your head. Release fully. Big breath. And then do it again. Exhale. Feel the pelvic floor muscles engage and pulling up toward your head. If this is new to you, you might want to check out my Kegel Camp series. It's a really great program that can help you. Okay, I just wanted to do a couple of Kegels. Let's do some more bridges. So back with feet directly under the knees are pointed straight ahead, and we lift up and down. Remember that pulsing up. Try not to touch your bum to the block if you can help it. Try to keep it really lifted and elevated the whole time, engaging the hamstrings, engaging the glutes. A couple more times. We're just getting that back line worked up again, that back line of the body, and finish up here. Now, the same hip internal rotation exercise that we did before, we're going to do it on the other side. So my back is going to be to you. I'm sorry about that. But your bottom leg is bent, 90 degrees at the hips, 90 degrees at the knee. And just take a minute to kind of look and use your arms, use your legs. It doesn't have to be graceful. Just try to get the block in line with your body this way, and also pretty much in line with the heel that's on the ground, with this heel right here. You want it in line with that and in line with the top leg, because the knee is going to rest on it. I'm actually going to turn the block this way on its second height, and I'm going to adjust my body so it feels really comfortable. And this is a great hip mobility exercise and a strengthener. Core is strong, knee is bent. Shift yourself around until you find that position. Now remember, this is deep work. Here we go. Lift, 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 lift. Maybe you're cramping a little bit. If you have a little cramp developing, just move your foot around and then keep going, holding it, feeling it deep right here. Hold it, hold it. Shift yourself if you need to. If you're not feeling like it's quite right, find that great position. And release down. These are long holds, and I want you to just find everything. So it's really take your time to get in the right position so that everything feels perfect. You can really feel this deep in the hip. Again, we lift, 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 lift. Hold it. Now, if you really were extreme, you could add ankle weights to this move. But feel how, even without the ankle weights, you feel those deep hip rotators working in a whole new way. Everything is lifting. The center line is activating. Your inner thighs are turning on. Everything is elevating. Hold it and down. We have 3 more reps. Inhale and then exhale. Lift, lift, lift that foot toward the ceiling, keeping the knee on the block, adjusting yourself however you need to make this work. And if you don't have the flexibility for this right now, if you just feel too stiff, just work on this stretch of just holding the position of the knees, kind of the legs staggered, and release. Again, lift, 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 lift. Holding it. And release. Last one, lift, lift, lift. Hip internal rotation right here, internally rotating, holding it, and let it go. Oh my goodness. Okay, rolling onto your back. Let's bring the block again. Try not to ever sit up straight like a jackknife. You don't want to do that. Just kind of wriggle around on the ground until you find your block again. Place it under your hips by lifting up into a little bridge. Block is under your hips. And we're going to move right into a single leg bridge. I know we've been working a lot, so take a minute just to let your knees flop apart and take a big deep breath into your pelvic floor, into your belly. Okay, so if you're ready, let's go ahead and I'm going to use actually my left leg first up onto my right. Now, we want to be careful with prolapse. Not to do a whole lot of moves where one leg is just kind of randomly up in the air. For some people, that's going to feel like too much to have this open chain right here. We want to close the chain. So let's try closing the chain by putting our foot of our left leg on top of our right thigh. So this right here just might be a stretch you want to do. If this is a lot, then you don't have to do the next step. But if you're ready for the next step, make sure that your foot is underneath your knee on the right side. Your hips can be on the block, and you're going to inhale and then exhale, lift the pelvic floor, strong pelvic floor, and come up into a single leg bridge. And down, and up, and down. 8 more. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Keep going. If this is too much, you can also cross the legs. 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Now that we're done with that, I want you to take a minute to flop those legs out again. Make sure your block is square underneath your pelvis. You feel really supported. And again, we are going to do an open chain for just a minute, but we're going to prepare for it by really making sure that our pelvic floor is set and strong and able to support us as we lift one leg up and then lift through the pelvic floor, strong core, and exhale as you grab the other foot. Just take a minute to stretch. Nice frog stretch before we do the other side. All right, so we're going to do another single leg bridge on the other side. Same thing, other side. And then we're going to go onto our hands and knees to finish out this practice. So let's go ahead and do the single leg bridge on the other side. So now, carefully engage your pelvic floor so you're ready for the transition of putting one foot down and then the other foot down. Carefully, carefully. Hips are elevated, you're supported. That should feel okay. So now we bring the other leg up like so. And we do our single leg bridge. Again, you can cross your legs if that was too much to have it up like this. So foot is under the knee and we lift our pelvic floor, pull our belly button in and come up. So lifting, feeling it strongly in just this one leg. 8 more. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Okay, leg down. Let those knees flop apart. Taking this gentle, taking our time with it. Before we move on to our hands and knees for another serious blaster and burner, let's do one more round of that frog stretch. So really engage through your core so that you feel really stable and secure as you lift one leg. Stable and secure. Lift your pelvic floor strong through the core and exhale as we lift our other leg. So when you do that, that should make that transition to bringing one leg off the floor and then the other feel really stable and secure even if you have prolapse. When you have prolapse, so often these muscles get really tense, overly tense and tight from keeping everything held in and feeling just a little bit of discomfort. And so stretching out is actually really, really important, releasing the pelvic floor. So breathe deeply, one more breath in and out. This is part of our strengthening routine, is to learn how to release. Okay, engage your core again. So prepare yourself to transition to one leg down and then the other leg down. And then we lift our hips just a little bit, bring ourselves off of the block and come onto hands and knees. We just have a couple more moves. This first one, I'm actually going to grab my foam block now just because that cork block is kind of heavy. So our first move that we're going to do is bringing the block between the knees. So between the knees like so. In this position, your bum is high. You can come down onto your elbows to make your bottom lifted even higher than your heart. So your bottom is lifted higher than your heart for this hips up fitness routine. Forearms are parallel. Lift your pelvic floor, pull belly button to spine, tuck your toes under and carefully come up. Squeeze the knees together, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. If you want more, twist to one side and then twist to the other side. Breathe steadily. You want to exhale as you twist. This is working the obliques, but you're squeezing the block together, your inner thighs and knees together against the block to help activate the center line and keep your pelvic floor strong and engaged. And again, your hips are elevated. Your back is straight. You're not hunchy. We don't want this. We want straight back. And you're really feeling this work, the obliques, the back muscles, the inner thigh muscles, and the pelvic floor. One more time each side. And okay, knees down. Oh, that was a lot. Already, that was a lot. Come up to your heels or onto your knees and just kind of roll out your wrists and shake out your forearms. And now let's do the next move, which is, again, same idea. on your elbows. So come on down. Forearms are parallel. And we're gonna lift that pelvic floor, pull the belly button toward the spine so we're strong and engaged through the core, and squeeze the block against our thigh. So really bring that foot up. Lifted and strong, everything is pulled in. Bring the leg up and down, then out to the side and down. So up and down, side and down. 8 more. Breathe steadily. 7. Keep breathing. 6. Back is flat. Your abs are pulled in. And you're not shifting your weight. Try to keep your body weight centered. Keep breathing. 3 more. 2. This is a total body workout, actually. Your arms should be feeling it too. And last 1. Ooh, wow. That is a lot of good work. So sitting up onto your heels and rolling out those wrists, shaking out the arms. Other side. And then we just have one more kind of cool move to finish things off with, and then we're done. So just like before, we want to bring that block in place, squeeze it to hold it in place. Again, you can also be using a little pillow, something like that. Forearms are parallel, lifted through the pelvic floor, pulled in through the low abs, and lift and down. Then out to the side and down. Make sure that your whole body is not shifting as you move your leg. The only thing that should be moving is this hip joint, this leg, not your whole body going back and forth. So let's do our 8 more. Breathing steadily, core is strong. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. We're working all of the stabilizers. 2. That helps stabilize the pelvic floor and make the pelvic floor work at its optimal. And I think we're done. Let's wrap it up with 1 more just to be safe. Oh my gosh. I am feeling it just as much as you are. So release, shake out the arms, shake them out, and let's do 1 more move. That's just kind of a fun way to stretch everything out and work our body in a new way that many of us just don't ever move like this. But it's a really good thing to move like this. So bring your arms nice and wide, wider than shoulder width distance apart. Fingers are spread out and maybe pointing in just a little bit. What I want you to do is think of slithering your back. So you're slithering your chest toward the floor. It looks like this. Slithering your chest toward the floor, bum up. So you're just gonna go forward and back a couple of times. It's just a neat way to kind of move your body in a hips up way. This is not working our booty so much. It's more stretching and mobilizing our hips, our back, and just moving our body in a new way. A way that feels sexy and feminine and good. And some of these things that sometimes we need to reclaim when we have pelvic health issues. So let's go ahead and do a couple more. Just do it however feels good to you, okay? There's really not a lot of rules. I just want it to feel comfortable and good. Remember, our hips are up. As long as you're breathing and you're staying aligned and comfortable, you should be totally fine. Do not hold your breath. So slither forward and then press back up. Slither it forward, hips are up, and then press back up. Again, slither forward and press back up. All right, come down onto your side and just take a minute to rest right here. If you'd like to, you can stretch out your quad. You can maybe do a twist where you bring the leg across your body. Something that feels really, really good and restorative to you. I want you to finish stretching on your own, releasing on your own, maybe even just do like a butterfly stretch or a figure 4 stretch, something where you're stretching out your outer hips. But really, I just want to thank you for taking part in this routine, and I want to honor you for taking care of your pelvic health concerns if you do have prolapse. And again, anyone can benefit from this workout even if you don't have prolapse, but it takes a lot of courage to kind of want to work on these issues on your own, because sometimes it feels like an issue that you don't want to even address or talk about, or maybe you feel fear or shame surrounding your pelvic health issues. But there's so much that you can do on your own to get better. And so thanks for being a part of my channel. Thanks for watching my videos. And if you liked this, please give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time. Until then, remember, eat clean, move every day, and you will shine brighter. I will see you next time.